One other thing that the woman mentioned in the training was contributing to a closed-minded culture. And that's one thing that I wanted to bring up because I feel like Jay-Z he's opening himself up, he's being vulnerable, and he's trying to make us be more open. Like she was saying that basically you can't do anything like once you realize like, oh, the leader is closed-minded, now everybody in the culture has to be closed-minded. So I guess it's like, I'm looking at this information and being like, we need to do everything that we can to be more open and vulnerable with each other, because I think that makes a better world for everybody.
Yeah, I'm curious how everything that went on in their relationship had to cause him to pretty much like relearn everything he was doing at a certain point. And him opening up, I just wonder how hard that was for him, even though as a rapper, like he talks about it in life, he talks about that stuff all the time, but to do it in this way was just totally different from what we heard. Like he talks about going to therapy, and one thing he talked about that I don't think I've heard him talk about is like his relationship with religion and spirituality. I found it interesting that he studied almost like all the major religions to like, I guess, be more at peace with himself. So like Simone, like what is your relationship with religion?
It's complex as everything. But I don't know, I feel like just base level, there's a God out there. And he wants us to have peace. So one of my favorite quotes from the Bible, I can't remember the exact verse, or I think it's like 2 Corinthians, maybe 7:14. And it just talks about basically once my people who call themselves by my name denounce their wicked ways, and I don't know, something about basically it's like once we realize that we got to stop fighting each other and love each other, and if you're calling yourself by my name, you should be loving each other, then we'll have like I think maybe it's like God will return, or like we'll have like peace. I don't know. Basically it's just, yeah, that. I'll have to look up that verse again, but yeah.
I was waiting for Tyler to spit it out because I felt like he knew it.
I know which one you talk. I can't quote it word for word, but I do know which one you're talking about. But let me ask Jay. Jay, what is your relationship with religion?
Okay. I'm gonna get deep on this one. All right. So I've had a very complicated relationship with God. I had a long time in my life where I was real mad at God. Like I was not, like I was like I had a dark period in my time where I was like, basically I was like, fuck you, God. Like, what do you do? Like, you don't do anything. Like, you're not there. Like I had a real like struggle with it. And it took me a while to actually even be like, cause my family's never been like really super religious. It's just like, we like, oh, there's God. I wouldn't go to church or nothing. We just like, yeah, we believe in God, but like we wouldn't go to church or nothing like that. We just try to be good people. When my mother passed, I had a very complicated relationship with like the concept of God. And I was like, if there's God, why he take my mother from me? I was 10. Like, where's the purpose of that? Like, but it took me a while to like get to grips with like God probably had a better plan for me. I guess. I'm not sure. Still trying to figure it out, but it took me a while to start thinking that way. I think it was more so like when I started hanging out with Tyler, like he was more religious. Top 10 most religious person I know, which isn't saying much.
Ain't saying much.
I mean religious people, but like
that ain't saying much. I just say that because of who I am. But go ahead.
Yeah, but like seeing like stuff like that and like some things he would say about God, in my head I'd be like, what's this fool talking about? And like other people that have come around that are like religious, and like I used to work in a church for a little bit, like doing security. Like I wasn't involved with the church at all. I just would sit there for 8 hours. And sometimes I listen to them speak and stuff, and then like, I don't know, my relationship with God has definitely changed, and my spiritual, I'm not really spiritual. I don't know if I am or not. I just know I believe in God as a God. And I just know like all you gotta do is just be good, be nice to everyone, you know. And like don't kill nobody. I feel like that's like the big one.
I feel that.
Yeah. Like,
that's
a very complicated relationship with that stuff. And like I feel like that's like something that a lot of people struggle with, is like, if there's God, then why would he put me through all this? And it does take a while to learn to like look past that, be like, oh, maybe he has a greater plan for me.
Yeah, I really hope that like every time bad things happen, there's a good reason.
Yeah, that's what. Well, now I'm very pessimistic now. Like, no, is that no?
Optimistic.
Optimistic. So like
So
every
used
time
to being
something,
a pessimist.
yeah, so I was so used to it. But I used to, now like if something bad happens, I'd be like, it's all good, it's just another lesson. But like in the past, when something bad happens to me, I'd be like, especially when I was in like high school, or like especially middle school and high school was when it was real tough for me. And like something bad happened, I'd be like, oh, it's over. And like I get down in the dumps and like depressed and all this, and instead of like trying to look at the brighter side of things. Like I always try to stay optimistic and look at the brighter side of things.
What made you get to that point where you could look at it from a different angle?
I have no idea. I think I don't know. Just one day I was just like, why am I so upset when something bad happens? I don't know what it was. I think it was definitely in college when I realized it. I think when I first got to college is when I started like trying to stay optimistic, cause I remember the story. When I first came to the campus, I wanted to play football. You remember, Tyler? Well, when I first got into college, I had to walk onto the football team, and they was like, oh, yeah, you're more than welcome to come on the team. And then I was like, word. So I just had to go to the practices and just wait till I got cleared. And they told me, oh, actually, you can't practice with us. You're not eligible. And I was like, what do you mean I'm not eligible? And it was like, damn, they just took away football from me. The only thing I knew, like that's the only thing I could identify with, the use to actually learn to meet people. So like once they took that away from me, I was like, damn, well, this is gonna suck in college. And then I guess like the next day I got a phone call from one of the coaches. I don't remember specifically. And he was like, oh, actually, you could actually practice with us. You're able to practice. You just can't play in any games. I was like, that's better than nothing. And then I took that, and I was like, that's when I first started like, maybe sometimes when bad things happen, something good could come out of it. Because if they found out I was ineligible later, they would have said, oh, no, you can't play, blah, blah, blah. But like, since it was like early on, they found out early on, they could look for a loophole, I guess. So that's when I think I started getting more optimistic about things.
I respect it, man. I'm glad I could play a part. You know what I'm saying? Top 10 religious people in your life. I'll take that.
Well, I don't even think it is 10, so.
Okay. top 5.
You're up there.
I'm up there.
Top number. Top number.
Yeah, top number.
That's hilarious.
I had this actually funny story happen over the weekend. I was hanging out with my friend, and I was gonna say something. I was like, "Nah, this isn't a good idea," because I'm just like, you know what? Sometimes you have some wild ass thoughts, right? Check yourself. So I told him, I'm about to say something. I was like, nah, actually, I shouldn't say this. And then he was like, I'm gonna set a 15-minute reminder on my phone for like just to remind me to ask you what happened. And I was like, yo, choose peace.